Hi students, how are you? Okay, in previous class we are studying our next topic. The chapter name is How do organisms reproduce? That's the chapter name. And before we already learned about the asexual reproduction methods, and we are explaining and learning about that asexual reproduction methods. The asexual reproduction methods are just recollecting budding, fragmentation, regeneration, vegetative propagation, soil formation, spore formations, etc. And you know about that asexual reproduction methods. Now we are going to study about sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, the involvement of parent is single parent involvement. A single organisms is generations is converted from single parent, from one parent. That means the involvement of parent is single parent. In this sexual reproductions, the involvement of two parents for next generation. The development of next generation are involvement of two parents. That means the importance of sexual reproduction, main importance of sexual reproduction is the importance of sexual methods is their origin. They can produce the variation. They can produce variations because the existence, the organisms are existent at such conditions and resisted to grow in that such conditions. The other organisms will develop. That is entirely different, but structure is same, but internal structure is entirely different. And we can know about it. Bull cannot reproduce in single time, cannot produce calyx, and hence cannot produce chicks. By the using single, I think this single term. Okay. Then the example, there are some examples connected to this. But hen reproduce the chicks with the help of cocks, and bull not reproducing. The cow will reproduce with the help of bulls. Okay, that means the sexual reproduction involving two individuals, two organisms in same species. That is sexual reproduction. The mixed, the connection of two main reproductive organ cells. These are the main in sexual reproduction. We are saying that such type of cells is known as gametes. Gametes are two types: male reproductive gamete, male gamete, and female gamete. Male gamete and female gamete. Then, what are the difference between sexual reproduction and sexual reproduction? What is the difference between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction? Asexual reproduction, that is single parent involved. The first point is single parent involved. In sexual reproduction, both male and female parents are involved. Both male and female parents are involved. And then the second is, in asexual reproduction, gametes are not formed. In asexual reproduction, well, the gametes will not form. But in sexual reproduction, both male and female gametes are formed. And then in asexual reproduction, the progenies are identical to parents. Okay. But in sexual reproduction, progenies are only generally similar to the parent, but not structurally. These are the main differences between the asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Okay. When a reproduction takes place as a result of fusion of two gametes, as a result of reproduction, fusion of two gametes. Okay. From each parent. That reproduction is known as sexual reproduction. That means when reproduction takes place as a result of fusion of two gametes, one from each parent. That process is called as sexual reproduction. Okay. Look, these two gametes are fused together. Okay, these are male gamete reproductive organs, male gamete and female gamete. That process of formation of gametes, the gamete formation, that process is known as gametogenesis. Gametogenesis means what? The process of production of gametes. Okay, that is gametogenesis. And then next, the fusion of two gametes, the fusion of male and female gametes. Look, the male gamete fused with female gamete. This process is known as fertilization. What is fertilization? The fusion of male and fertilization. Yes, look, towards in sexual reproduction, the fusion of two gametes. Okay, gametes are two types, male gamete and female gamete. The formation of gametogenesis is known as gametogenesis. The fusion between male and female gametes, that is known as fertilization. The importance of sexual reproduction is formation of variant organisms, variety organisms that due to that cause variations. These are the fertilization. Okay. Then this sexual reproduction categorized into two. That is in human beings and in plants. Human beings and in plants. Look. Human beings and in plants. First is sexual reproduction in plants. Sexual reproduction in plants. Okay. Yes, what is the part of the plants? What are the parts of the plant? Yes, we know about the parts of the plants: the root, stem, leaf, flowers, seeds, etc., fruits, etc., the parts of the plants. But in plants, the reproductive part of the plant is, that is, flower. The sexually reproductive, for sexual reproduction, the reproductive part of the plant is flower. All the flowering plants are the capacity or the ability to reproduce sexually. Such flowering plants are commonly known as angiosperms. Angiosperms, flowering plants. That flowering plants have the capacity to reproduce sexually. The reproductive part of the plant is flower. The flowering plant is known as angiosperm. But before, in these flowering plants, the parts of the flower, but before that, we discussed about the morphology of the flower. First we discussing the morphology of flower. Morphology of flower. Yes, it is the colored part of the plant. It is the colored part of the plant, that is flower. That's a fascinating, the glamorous part of the plant, that is flower. And then the ornamental part of the plant, that is flower. The smell, the fragrance part of the plant, that is flower. And the last, reproductive part, that is flower. We can see the part of the flower in morphologically. Morphology means what? Morphology, we are already seeing that the morphology. What is morphology? Morphology means, yes, the branch of Biology. The branch of biology which deals with the study of external character of the living organisms. External character of the living organisms. In living organisms, the external character, we can see a flower. The flower, you just see the color of the flower and structure of the flower, and then a number of the flowers, leaves, etc. Flowers and position of flower. Just looking, we can say what is the flower. We can say the inner. We can say a rose flower. Look at this rose flower. The petals are rose in color and smell fragrance is identified. Okay, this is the flowers. Entirely different part of the other part of the plant. Okay, this is the morphology of flowering plants. And then anatomically we can discussing the flowering part for studying reproductive system. For studying reproductive system. Yes. Actually the flowers are mainly two types. Flowers are mainly two types. Basis on the reproductive structure. Basis on the reproductive structure, flowers are classified as two. Flowers are divided into two. Basis on the reproductive structure. Presence of reproductive structure. Basis on the presence of reproductive structure. So, that is two types. That is, one is unisexual flower and bisexual flower. Unisexual flower and bisexual flower. Okay. Yes. Flower are classified as two in the basis of reproductive presence of reproductive structure. The flowers are classified as two, the unisexual flower and bisexual flower. Yes. But before the flowers reproductive structures, knowing about the flowers reproductive structure. The male reproductive structure of a flower, that is known as anther. Male anther. That is antheridium. The female is gynoecium. Antheridium, Lantheridium or gynoecium. In flower, the male reproductive part is known as antheridium and the female reproductive part is known as gynoecium. Okay. Other part of the flower. Look at the other part of the flower. The first is calyx. Calyx is otherwise known as sepals. Calyx of sepals. Next is corolla, otherwise known as petals. And then two, androecium, and gynoecium. The major flower parts are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. The major part of the flower, reproductive part of the flower. These are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Okay, just look. I just draw a flower. Look at it. This is a greenish part. Just beneath the colored part. This is greenish part. This is the calyx. And the colored, attractive part. Some rose color, whitish color, violet color, maroon color, magenta color, yellowish, orange, red, etc. More these colors are in this. This is attractive color that is known as corolla or petals. Okay, this is a morphological identification only. This is only a morphological identification. Okay, maybe we can see a flower. We just observe a flower. We can see a greenish part that is known as calyx, sepals, and the attracting part, the colored part, the fragrant part, that is corolla, otherwise known as petals. And we can say, see, a thread-like structures and the tip of the thread, we can say some velvet structure and some yellowish structures. Okay, yes. Then the yellowish structure. The first is yellowish. We can say we can discuss the yellowish structures and velvet structure and the anatomical structure of the flower. Look. First of all, we just notice that reproductive part of the plant, that is flower. Reproductive part, that is flower. The male part is stamens. The male part is stamens. Stamens are the male part. Stamen, S-T-A-M-E-N-S, stamens. Male part. In stamens, look at the stamens. They have two parts. One is filament. One is filament. Next is anther. One is filament and one is anther. This anther is under the meiotic division. Anther is under in meiotic division produce male gametes. Meiotic division and produce male gametes. The male gametes are pollen grains. Pollen grains. Look, this is the filament and this is the anther. In the reproductive part of the flower, mainly classified as two: the male reproductive part and the female reproductive part. The male reproductive part of the flower is stamens. Stamens have two parts. The first is the filament and the second is anther part. That is antheridium. The single case anther. Look, in anther there is two types. In anther, in addition the stamens have one is the filament and next is the anther. Within the anther, their cells are undergo meiotic divisions and produce male gametes, or the male gamete name is pollen grains. The gamete is pollen grains. Pollen grains are the male gametes in the flower. Next is female part. Female part is commonly known as carpels. Carpels. In this carpel have single name is stamens are single name is androecium, and the carpel's single name is gynoecium. Androecium and gynoecium. The female part of the flower is carpels, or otherwise known as gynoecium. Otherwise known as gynoecium. The carpel have three parts. That is stigma, style, ovary. The carpels have three parts: stigma, style, ovary. Now, what the structure is, look. This is stigma, and this is style, and this is ovary. Stigma, style, ovary. Then the ovary is produced egg cells. These are in male gametes, that is pollen grains are haploid in nature, and these egg cells are haploid in nature. Okay, look, in sexual reproduction in plants, the mainly sexual reproductive part is flower. In morphologically, flower have main parts are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. In that, sexual reproduction flowers, the main parts are male reproductive part and female reproductive part. Male reproductive parts is commonly known as androecium, otherwise known stamens, and in stems have two structures: filament and anther. Filament and anther. Filament and anther. In this anther, the cells of this anther undergo meiotic division and produce some specialized cells, haploid cells. Haploid cells. Haploid cells. That haploid cells are known as male gametes or pollen grains. And then the second part, the female part, that is carpels or gynoecium. Gynoecium have three parts: stigma, style, ovary. Stigma, style, ovary. Stigma, the pollen grain attached part of the flower, that is stigma, and the long thread-like structure, that is called the style, and the egg cell formating part from, that is known as ovary. In this ovary, their ovary will undergo some mitotic divisions to form egg cells, like haploid egg cells. These are the first top point of this reproductive part of the flower answer. And you just recollecting this one, and I will give you some questions for writing your notebook. You must writing that questions and answer and learning one. And the questions are look the questions. But before that, look at that male part and female part. The male gametes are pollen grains. The female is egg cells. It's very important one. But before we are, next step is, I will give you some questions, and you will write your own notebook neatly and clearly, and just answer that questions in your notebook. Okay, and studying very well. And the questions are, look. The first one is, what is fertilization? First question is, What is fertilization? Very simple questions for you. What is fertilization? Fertilization means what? The fusion of male and female gametes. That is known as fertilization. Okay. And then second question is the difference between sexual and asexual reproduction. Second question is difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. Asexual and sexual reproduction. Difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. The differences are known as in asexual reproduction, single parent involving single parent is involving that asexual reproduction. Then gametes are not producing, and the progeny is progeny is identical to parents in sexual reproduction. They are involving two organisms, living organisms, male and female organisms. And the second is gametes were formed, male gamete and female gametes. And the second, the progeny is identical to the genetic variations and not in structure. That's main differences and this felt. And he explained the different parts of the flower. Third one is different, or the question is part, explain part of the flower. Explain parts of the flower. Explain. Yes, the third one is parts of the flower. Explain. The parts of the flowers are calyx, corolla, then androecium, gynoecium. Androecium means male reproductive organ, gynoecium means female reproductive organs. Androecium have stamens. Androecium means stamens. Stamens have filament and other. Female reproductive organs is the system that is gynoecium. Gynoecium have stigma style ovary, and the ovary part is undergo divisions and structure form to egg cells and the haploid egg cells, and then stamens are produced meiotic and undergo the meiotic divisions and produce the male reproductive structure. Gametes are known as walnut gametes. Okay, this is the main points of this topic and you must read your textbook and writing this question. Not only this question, you just discover very few questions and discussing about another questions in your textbook and answer it. And then, okay, thank you for joining, and I'm signing out. Okay, bye. See you tomorrow. Bye.